What's up? You're listening to episode 2 of Don't Miss This Podcast with Sam Butler and
Jack Anderson.
a little bit of DMT with Sammy B and Jacky D.
What's up, people?
You know, Jack, we were talking before this episode. You know, we had a great time last episode, but, you know, we got to refine the show. We got to find our voice.
Right.
You know? And, you know, that's where we, you know, it happens all the time. You see it all the time. Pivots happen.
Pivots are the move.
Yeah.
You know what? You can't take the ball up to the rim if you don't pivot a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing with basketball. You know, you just always got to pivot so that you don't get traveling.
Literally.
But what if...
No baskets
This has
if you
been
travel.
my question, actually. This is totally unplanned and random, but as far as pivoting goes in basketball, what if someone were to, say, plant their feet, so they stopped dribbling, and then pivot, and then on the foot that they landed the pivot with, pivot again, and then keep pivoting
that
down the court? It's not technically traveling if they're just pivoting the whole time.
It is without a doubt traveling.
They're pivoting, though. It's a pivot.
Travel doesn't mean
It's a
walk.
pivot. No, it's a pivot.
Travel means taking 2 feet off the ground after having picked up the ball is what
But
traveling
no, the foot is still down.
But you're switching feet every time.
It's a pivot. Jack, it's a pivot. The basketball needs to goddamn change because of this new fucking revelation, man. Pivots.
So we're pretty much just gonna watch guys grab the ball and then pivot down the court.
That would be
all the way to the
would
rim.
take the sport to the next level, man.
You know what I'd watch for sure? I'd give it a shot.
Imagine LeBron just pivoting. Imagine Shaq just pivoting.
I feel like their legs...
Imagine Michael Jordan pivoting all the way to the free throw line and then doing the Air Jordan jump from standing. Basically, he didn't have any of the momentum that it took. He just does that. You know, say that's how the game was played.
I feel it's physically improbable. I feel like that your legs would be so toasted before the end of the.
Dare you badmouth Michael Jordan, Jack? But anyway, that's the point. Is that this episode is a pivot. Because you know we
a legal
could cover.
pivot.
We could cover a legal, not illegal,
illegal.
but we could cover all these topics of entertainment like we listed last week, like news and sports and stuff, but it's like we don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. But also it's just too much of a artificial thing to just sit there, set up, have Jack set it up, and we come up with a bit. You know, how about we just talk about stuff we like, stuff we want to talk about?
The foundation of our friendship, which is just us riffing about movies. I mean, we just love movies. We love good movies, bad movies, all the movies, really.
All the movies.
Yeah.
I went to film school.
You did?
Yeah.
You did. I got a film minor.
Yeah. See? We know movies.
We do.
So let's just talk about what we know.
Yes.
So that's kind of what the show is going to be about, is we're going to be reviewing movies now.
Yes.
Sure, we're going to catch up. We're going to catch up at the top.
Every time.
Yeah, you know, and that's just part of it. So what did we miss in each other's life, and what movies have you all been missing? Because you got to watch these things.
Got to watch them, and you know, there's pros and cons to every movie, good or bad. And Sam and I are going to discuss them and get to the bottom of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yep. So anyway, Jack, what did I miss this weekend when you were in La La Land,
Los Angeles,
for the first time, popping that L.A. cherry?
First time in my life going to Los Angeles, California. Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed Los Angeles quite a bit. It's a sprawling city. It's very green. It's very green there. I was surprised. I landed. I was like, oh, so this is literally.
Like all the palm trees on the like. Did you take a shuttle bus in, or an Uber?
Lyft.
Yeah. So
Lyft specifically, not Uber.
Yeah, because Uber molests people.
That's true. I'm not about that.
No.
Not on vacation.
But when you were driving into the city, because I could tell you the few times that I've been out there, I took the shuttle bus, and it dropped me off on Hollywood Boulevard, so Walk of Fame and everything, all 3 times. And every time it was the same drive on the same highway. I don't know which one it was, but I'm sure you were probably on it. But you see the city skyline, you know, coming at you, you know, from around a bend from LAX. And like the whole time I was just looking at it, and I'm like, Jesus, this is a sprawling fucking city. You just look at it, and it's a city made of cities. And you You see it in movies all the time. Like you see LA in movies all the time, and it's wild.
Yeah.
You know, it's built up this way, but the movies don't do it justice. You know, actually going there, you're just like, this is a staggering feat of humanity.
Yeah. I told my mom it was like America's attempt at being Europe, because the buildings were a lot older.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I was like the buildings were a little older than I expected. All that good. Like I went
until
to
you go to New York,
right? Yeah. I went to like the Comedy Cellar, and that place is burned down. That place has gone through a lot, but
store.
What, did I say cellar?
Yeah.
Shit. You said New York, and I thought cellar. Yeah.
I know.
Store.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, no, it was cool, man. Like, it's an old building. There's a lot of old buildings there, but there's a lot of. I kept telling everybody that I met there that there was just so much culture. Like, I was like, this place has so many different cultures.
So many different things going on, and like because of that, like there's so many people that I meet in Colorado that just say they want California to fall into the ocean, specifically LA. And I'm like, have you ever been there? And it's like, no. But, because they're all like, they've seen it in the movies. They get the idea from the movies. And they're just like, well, fuck that place. And I'm like, I mean, I love it from the movies, but being there, I was like supercharged by it.
Yeah.
It charged me up. Like, it not to be like sappy or anything when I, was first driving in, I'm like, oh, this feels like home.
Yeah.
This feels right.
Yeah.
Like manifest destiny type shit.
It's a cool spot, man. It's definitely it's just so they're just city. Like, it's just only a city. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's just where human beings are, if that makes sense. Yeah, because like being from Colorado, we have mountains, we have a lot of like wildlife and stuff that kind of pops into our life. And LA is just, I mean, everything is from that kind of metropolis vibe. So.
Yeah, but it's not as claustrophobic as New York. New York was pretty claustrophobic, at least for me, because of how tall the buildings were. You couldn't see out and around, which we're used to where we are in Littleton. You can look pretty much and have the sky full 360-degree view, and then you have the mountains to the west.
Right.
Like, being in New York, you're just like, where is anything?
Yeah.
Where are we on the planet?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It's pretty stressful. And I mean, I really wasn't in downtown LA that much, but I can see it kind of being like that. But I mean, there's only a handful of really, really tall buildings down there.
Like, it was, but it was more like, I don't know. It felt like the buildings were much more spread out. I didn't feel like I was like boxed in ever. I just was like, there's a lot of really fucking tall buildings around me.
So what part were you at?
So I actually flew into Burbank, and I came from the back. Like, I came from the north side, and I went down, and I was at. I was pretty close to Sunset Boulevard. I stayed in that area pretty exclusively, just because like I went out there.
It's by the store.
It's by the store. I had a lot of meetings and stuff like that were like in that area, so it ended up working out really well. I was pretty close to like Echo Park, Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, did you go check those out? Because I feel like you probably had a good amount of free time to just explore, right? Yeah,
it was a weird mix, because you realize when you're traveling alone, like, there is going to be about 3 to 7 hours where you just don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah. And everywhere, unless you have a very, very precise itinerary planned, packed full of activities. Yeah, no fucking idea what to do.
Not a chance, because you're just like, I'm not from here. And like, part of the problem too was like, I got in Thursday evening, so like I had a cocktail party to go to, so I didn't have any time to do anything Thursday.
Oh, that was that day?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So the whole rest of the weekend, you were there to hang.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
But then, like, I just got a couple extra lucky opportunities on. So on Friday, I ended up getting lunch with the writing teacher, which was super cool. And then I had like a meeting with an agent that is the son of one of my college professors.
Right.
And I got a lot of advice there from them, but those were like at 1 and 3. So it was like right in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And like the morning was great, because I woke up. I actually ended up like writing like 7 scenes or something like that. I didn't even like leave the hotel, which felt kind of like a loser, but I was also like, I got a lot done.
Yeah, but you came alive in the city, man.
I did.
You were possessed by the Holy Spirit, the Holy Writing Spirit.
You're just like, fuck, let's go to town.
That's the shit, man.
There's a point where I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to write. And then after that meeting with that agent, like that was, for sure the most like intense part, and it was great and it was awesome. But I was mentally processing a lot after that, and I got back to the hotel and I was just like crashed. I ate too much pizza, got kind of sick, fell asleep, woke up, went to the store. But I was like, damn, that's my day right there.
How was the store?
Oh, the store was
freaking
amazing.
Goddamn you! Got tickets to Mark Maron and Chris D'Elia. Who else was on the lineup?
Who else came out? Annie Letterman was there.
Nice.
Kyle. What was his last name?
Kyle Cease.
No, not Kyle Cease. Something.
Dunnigan.
No, not Dunnigan either.
Damn.
Smaller name. I hadn't heard of him before.
Okay.
But he was really funny. Damn, I wish I remembered his name.
It's okay.
And then somebody that was so good at crowd work, and I forgot his name too, but he was like a bigger name. He was on the ticket.
Can you describe him?
He was in a bunch. I'll just look it up on my phone really quick. But
yeah.
The best part I think was E-Bright. Sorry. So how about your week, Sam, while I find this really quick?
Wow, dude. I mean...
Tell me.
I didn't have much of a weekend because the Butler boys were installing cabinets all weekend.
Ooh, nice.
My dad is remodeling the whole kitchen, and let me tell you, man, we are quite the pair to be working on a massive project like this. There's a place where I got my fucking anger from.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because the thing I've come to learn is that we yell at things, not people. Perfect example was while we were doing this, I went to Freddy's, right? And I go, and he wanted a California burger, and I wanted the patty melt, 2 fries, no drink. Get out of there. And so I go, I order, I pay. It was like $16 or some shit. Which I forgot how expensive fucking Freddy's was.
Yeah.
And
Freddy's will get you.
Yeah, so I drive it all back and get there, pull out the fries. I look in there and there's only one box. I open it and it's just a bacon fucking cheeseburger, man. Completely wrong order. And that means I had to drive all the way from my house, all the way the one out by Kohl's, and then all the way back, discover the food is fucked up, and I flip the fuck out. I start losing my shit. And I throw all the food back in the bag. I'm like, God damn it, shit, son of a bitch. Fucking go. He's like, okay, well, go get it fixed and stuff. And I like slam the sliding door, slam the door, slam my door. And I'm just mumble cussing the whole time. And then on the way there, I'm punching the steering wheel, really fucking pissed. Like, God damn it. It's like a 15 fucking minute drive over there. And... oh my God, I'm driving, I'm punching the steering wheel, and I'm listening to loud music, and then my dad calls me, and he's just like, hey, you cooled down a little bit? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go in there and rip somebody's head off, but boy, did I fantasize it. Oh my God, just fantasize going in there and like slamming it on the table and just being like, hey, this whole fucking order is wrong. Just like being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You have one job is to take a fucking order and fucking make it, fucking put it in the bag and fucking give it to me and I fucking pay for it and I go home and I fucking eat it. But now I have to drive 15 minutes here, 15 minutes home, 15 minutes back, 15 minutes home. I spent an hour getting this fucking food, dude. What the fuck? So I get there and I walk in and the manager was at the counter and he sees me with the bag. He's like, oh shit. He's like, is everything okay? I'm like, just plopped it on. I'm like, nothing in this order's right. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay. Well, what did you want? I'm like, a patty melt and California burger fries. That's it. And he's like, okay, we'll get that. And he goes back, tells them, and then he comes back with 2 free vouchers. And I'm just like, sweet. Because that's the thing. We don't yell at people. We yell at things and situations in private.
Of course.
You know? And so anytime something would go wrong, which when you're doing any kind of remodeling of any kind, shit will go wrong. That's a guaranteed fact.
Of course.
You measure 3, 4, 5, 12 times and it will be wrong. You know, statistically proven that it will be wrong at some point. Not always wrong, and those are like huge sighs of relief. You're like, thank God, I don't have to go and fuck with shit and adjust it and all this stuff. So anytime something would be wrong, he'd be fucking cocksucker, motherless whore shit. Like, he would just be screaming, and then I'd be like, yeah, I get that. I understand. I'm like not afraid. Winston's, kind of like freaked out, but also he's been living in a house with guys who yell for 2 years.
That's fair.
As long as he wasn't putting himself in the cage like he would when he'd like shit in the house, then he'd be fine. He's like, yeah, this is kind of like all the noise and stuff. Yeah, it's scary and confusing. I can understand why those guys are freaked out. I'm gonna go lay down. Winnie the Pooch, cutest dog on earth.
I love it.
But we're doing it, and then I'd be like, because I was just a human forklift. I was just the muscle. I was there to hold stuff.
Gotcha.
I wasn't doing any of the measuring or the planning. He was doing most of the work. I was just there to hold the cabinets. And just shit would go wrong. He'd get frustrated. Then like something would go wrong from my end, and I'd get fucking pissed and motherfuck shit. And then he'd be like, "Yeah, I get it too." Like,
yeah, I get it.
It was all fine. It was just because the level that I overreacted about the fucking Freddy's that he was just like, yikes, I wouldn't have gotten that mad. But it's fucking an hour that it took me to get I left the house, and an hour later, and damn, I didn't mean to slam on it with my belt, my wrist buckle, but dude, it was fucking an hour. I mean, granted, I have those meal vouchers. I mean, they gave me my money back, essentially. But at the same time, they don't give me that hour back. God damn it. God damn it.
I get it, man.
It's fucking frustrating.
I understand.
Well, that was my entire weekend.
Damn.
Oh, that was the other one. Have you been to Taco Bell recently?
Nah, not for a while.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, if you go into the restaurant now, the way you order now is with fucking tablets.
Really?
Like
okay.
they have in those McDonald's now. Except here's the thing about Taco Bell that puts them way behind McDonald's. McDonald's, there's still someone at the counter.
Right.
There's still someone at the counter you can give an order to. I go in, and I know what I want. I go into Taco Bell, I know what I want. And then there's no one at the counter. They don't have people at the counter anymore. So I'm forced to go onto this tablet and fucking go through the goddamn categories to find the food that I want and then fucking add it to cart, basically, like I'm ordering off of goddamn Amazon.com. This is Taco Bell. I just want my fucking Crunchwrap, dude. And there's no one at the fucking counter. And we go in there, and, my dad's always, he just, like, he'll roll with it. He'll figure out technology. He's not that, like, this technology, because he's 70, but he's not, like, out of it. He knows how to use it. But he's using it, and I'm like, okay, I put my food in, and then he was going to put his stuff in, pay for it, and I was trying to find a table. And I look over, and he's just looking at me with this, like, I don't know, fucking what is going on? And I go over, and the screen is, like, loading data with a fucking wheel spinning, and it's spinning, and it's spinning, and it's spinning. And there's no one at the counter. So I can't bring this up with anybody. And then we're just sitting there, and then finally he's just like, this is fucking stupid. We're not going to eat here. And I'm just like, I'm fully with you. Let's go. And we start to turn, and then the screen changes, and it says refreshing menu items, and bam, it's at the fucking loading screen. All our order is wiped out. We're just, fuck this.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Damn, I might try Taco Bell just to see what that's like.
It's so goddamn frustrating. It's like, you go in there, you tell the person to order. You know what you want. You tell them. They ring it up. You pay them. You leave. But this thing puts you in a position where you have to do it yourself. I don't fucking work at Taco Bell, man. What is this fucking deal?
The way the world's moving, Sammy.
It's like self-checkout, man. It's like I don't work at the fucking grocery store, but if I go stand in line, that's where all the big carts are.
This is the direction of the fucher, man.
That sucks.
It's not even the future, it's the present.
Yeah.
This is going to be every place soon.
Yeah, it blows. But it looks like you found the ticket and the name.
Yeah,
because that was my whole weekend. Oh, no, I actually have one more story. I'll tell you after you finish your story.
Okay. It was Rick Ingram.
Rick Ingram, I know the name. I've never heard him, but yeah.
He did
only
great
crowd work. Nice.
And see, I'm convinced Mark Maron talked to me, and I don't care what anybody else says, because I think he did.
Explain.
During the show. So I got there, and the one consistent was that Lyft drivers could never fucking find me. Like, anytime I requested a Lyft from my hotel, they just didn't know where I was. They called me. They'd be like, "We don't know where you're at," and I'm like, "I don't either. I've never been here before."
Yeah, this is your job.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why would you call me? And
I was listening to what was it? Uninformed with Bill Burr and Joe DeRosa. And Joe DeRosa, literally on my way over, was talking about a story about how a Lyft driver couldn't fucking find him.
Yeah.
And just ditched on him.
Yeah.
And it was just frustrating.
This
It's just like,
fucking
it's
ditched me.
LA, dude. It's LA. It's not rocket science. It's just streets.
Literally, like, this is exactly what actually happened. Like, I woke up and, like, I started getting my shit together and, like, getting ready to leave. And I was like, you know what? Like, it's a fucking comedy show. I'm going by myself. Like, this is my entertainment. I'm gonna wear sweatpants and sneakers and, like, a baseball. Like, I was like, I should dress up.
Jack,
Nah.
that's what you do in life.
I know.
For, like, any situation where you're just like, if I don't have to dress up, sweats and fucking sneakers. Or moccasins.
Yeah.
Crocs.
I busted some Crocs out.
Yeah. Did you bring Crocs to LA, Jack? You need to be honest with me right now.
Nah, I didn't bring any Crocs to LA.
Damn you.
I had to be conservative.
You need to
with
flex.
my space.
You need to flex your style. Flex your steez.
Your steez. No, fucking, I rock the sweats, man. You know I like to rock the sweats. It's my, it's my style.
It's
bro.
your style.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking like a fucking bum.
Yeah.
Literally. No, like, because, I like wearing sweatpants like you, but also all the sweatpants I have are from football, and I was 3 sizes bigger back then. So I wear these things, and they're baggy as shit. And I remember at work last year, towards the end, it was like winter, so all the rest of the staff had been laid off, and it was one morning on a weekend, and so I was hungover, of course, and so I'm there, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, and I did everything that I needed to do, and my boss comes up to me, and he's just like, all right, here's what you need to do next, and also, from here on out, no more dressing like you're going to a fucking sleepover. And I'm like, reality check.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how you look if you're going out. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to wear sweats out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go sleep somewhere.
Literally.
But also, that's your whole vibe.
That's what I do, man. That's my
You spend so much time doing shit that when you're not doing shit, you want to really look like it.
Exactly. Like,
A do not disturb sign, basically,
Yeah.
is what those sweats are.
Literally, man.
Don't make me do shit.
That's a great way to put it. Like, don't expect anything from me tonight. This is...
I am punched out for the day.
Yeah, and I'm not coming back in until 9 tomorrow. I'm not. Phone is off. Like... So I wore sweats and like a tighter t-shirt and stuff like that. And I go and I get the lift, and the guy can't find me, and he calls me, and we're just on the phone with each other for like 15 minutes. Like he wouldn't get off the phone. I should have just hung up and been like, I'm getting another driver. But like we're like going, I'm trying to like figure this out for him now, and he's just parked somewhere. And then eventually, after he's wasted, because I was on time, I was early, I was good to go. And then by the time I'm done with this guy, I'm like 5 minutes ahead of schedule, if that. You know what I mean? Like, I got to be going. And then he kept me on the phone for 20 minutes. Get picked up, go, make it. And I'm like to the front of the store by I don't know, 5 minutes after the show started. And Mark Maron came to the front to like complain to the door staff guy, like, why the fuck is this taking so long? That's literally what he said. Yeah. And I was like, he's the same off stage. He's off stage.
But you're seeing him. You could reach out and be like, Maron.
Literally, what I tell everybody is I could have grabbed him if I wanted to. And
Jack, how fucking funny would it be if in that moment he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then you grabbed him, threw him over your shoulders, and ran out of the comedy store.
What a mistake!
You just steal Mark Maron.
What a mistake he made that day. Curiosity killed the fucking cat, dude.
You're just like, listen to this guy. Just throw him over your shoulders and run like King Kong.
Just take him.
Just climb to the top of whatever that tall star-shaped building is.
Yeah.
Just, like, have Marin, and then someone's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Like he took Mark Maron.
He took Mark Maron. Like the whole city would care.
Yeah, he took him.
You scaled the side of the building.
I would, man. With Maron on my shoulder, sure.
Yeah, then the adrenaline and the pure dexterity.
Exactly.
And strength.
That's why I work out, is so that I can kidnap comedians.
Yeah, and King Kong them.
Yeah, King Kong them throughout LA.
And there's no way they're gonna, rally some planes to come take you down.
No.
You're not a 25-foot gorilla.
The trouble is I don't know what to do with them once I have them.
You're just like, so I'm like tired and done with this bit. Do you want to go back to the store?
I go back. I actually really want to see you perform.
Yeah.
Like I was really excited about this.
Yeah, I'm done with this bit. And they're like, this was a bit? Yeah, no.
It's called Superhuman. It's Superhuman Bits.
That is the funniest thing. You're automatically passed at the store, Jack.
I just take people.
You kidnap Mark Maron and then you drop it. You're just like, what the fuck was that? It was it's just a bit.
For fun.
You'll be like, that was a bit? Are you fucking crazy? That was the funniest bit. And then all of a sudden, you're Mark Maron's new buddy.
Dude,
he's showing you the new garage.
He's showing you the new garage. I was pretty excited about it because like, there's no way you couldn't have seen me. I was wearing like a bright green shirt. I was wearing the Crocodile Fighting Lion shirts. It's a bright green shirt. Like it's tight.
Yeah. I'm
wearing sweats, sneakers. Like I have a very distinct look. Baseball cap.
You intended to look like an exclamation point.
Yeah, and in all the best of ways.
Jack, you're the best audience member because you came looking the part to participate.
So then I was like, you go, it's like, oh, it's so cool. It's Mark Maron. Like, oh, he was right there. And then you go and you sit down and you join the show.
This was basically the equivalent of a guy who shows up to a magic show who's fully ready to participate. Yeah. He's like, he's been practicing for weeks to shoot his hands up when it's like volunteers. And it's like hard enough that it makes like a noise, like he slaps his head with his elbow like that. The guy's like, so attention, drawn. He's the first guy on stage.
Sam, did you practice that?
No, I made that up, but my arm is so fat and supple right now, I knew it wasn't going to hurt my head, Jack. It's a great sound effect, though.
That was good. Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, he actually hit himself.
I know.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So he's doing his set, Mark is, at this point, and I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying it, I'm watching it, and he's like facing forward, and I'm like starkly to his right. Like I'm out of eyesight of him on stage. And
how close were you again?
What's that?
How close were you?
Like back row on the side, but it's like it's a very like I would call it a cylindrical room. It's very like if you're on the sides, you're pretty close. Yeah. It's not like wide.
It goes wide. Yeah.
It goes
kind of like
out.
the Comedy Works South.
Yeah,
in a way, because I mean we were off to the side, but we were still pretty close.
Yeah. I was kind of like there back like a row or two. Like think of that. Yeah.
Okay.
And he starts going on this bit about how he has started taking vitamins, and he only does them because one of his friends told him to do them. He's like, yeah, I started taking them because fucking Dave started taking them. I'm like, hey, Dave, where'd you find out about these? He's like, oh, yeah, my fucking trainer. And he was like, now I'm going to talk to one trainer in the room. And he literally stood up, turned to his right, sat down. I'm like, this guy's making eye contact with me. Like he saw me, he picked me for the bit. He was like, that green shirt, found him. Let's go, you know? And I was just like, I was eating it up because he's like, there's nothing against Trey. And like, I felt like he was telling me these things. It was so funny. He's like, this is nothing against trainers, but I feel like if you are a personal trainer,
yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Something else went wrong. And I was like, I just was eating this up.
That is fucking amazing because you are a personal trainer. That is so fucking awesome, man. That is the best thing I have ever heard.
It was amazing. I was just freaking out. I was like, oh
my God. That's awesome, dude. Fuck yeah.
Made the whole trip worth it.
Yes,
that
dude.
was rad. I was like, whoa. What's up, Mark?
Oh my God.
And then Dalia came out, and Dalia came to play, as always.
Of course.
He's amazing live.
He comes to play every day.
Yeah. And he let him
He's down for a silly goose time.
It was just I laughed like the moment he came on stage. I started laughing. I was like, "Oh no!" I'm like fangirling right now. I was like, "No good."
I mean, he's the cult leader.
He literally is.
We're babies in his log cabin, man.
That video of him and Brian Callen.
Oh my god, that was a good one.
Oh shit!
Welcome back to Who's a Cuck. God, I fucking love them.
I'm not a cock. So, what's the other story? You said you had one more story.
I have one more story, yeah. It was while we were doing cabinets, of course. And I had run out of those, Zyn pouches, those nicotine pouches. Mm-hmm. And actually, no, it was after. It was downtime. Later in the evening. And it was, he was going to go to the grocery store, and I was going to just run to the gas station to go get some Zyn pouches. So I went to the gas station, and I pull in, and then there's this, white sedan, and he's parked, but he's really on the line, and I barely could fit, and I'm just okay, well, this is the only place to park unless I park at a pump like a dick and not get gas. So I pull in and I park as far over as I could, and there's still not very much room, and I open the door, and as I open the door, I'm kind of looking. He's sitting in the car, the engine's running, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he's I can't really tell much of his appearance from outside, but it looks like he lives in that car. And I get out, and my door, lightly touches, you've touched your door. Yeah. Everybody touches their door to a car if it's too close. Yeah. It just happens. You touch doors, but you don't slam it open like a fucking idiot. You gingerly go, okay, I'm going to set the door on this door. Yeah. And I do that. And I get out of the car, and I close the door, and I hear, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, God damn it, here we go. Yeah. And so I'm walking around the other side, and and kind of looking through the back window. I just see arms flailing. Then he opens the door, he kicks it open. He's ripping off the seatbelt and stuff, and he gets out. I'm like, oh, this is very clearly a crackhead. Yeah. And I'm just like, what? And he's just like, you just hit my fucking car with your door. I'm just like, nah, man, you parked on the line. That's all the space you gave me. I just touched your door. And like I was saying, I don't yell at people. Yeah. I yell at things. So in that situation, he's just flipping out. He's at a 13, and I say that I'm like, you're parked on the line. That's all the space you gave me. And I saw him go from a 13 to a 3. He had nowhere to go with that. he just stopped, and he's just kind of darting his eyes around. I'm like, no, go around, go ahead and double check. There's no marks, nothing happened. And he goes around, and he's leaning around the side of the car, and he's bobbing his head. And now I know why they're called cluckheads, dude. They look like chickens when they're doing that shit. God damn it. That just unlocked so much rap lyrics for me.
You should have, what you should have done is you should have he's like, you're my fucking car. You're like, you're so right. I'm so sorry. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to sort this out right now. I got this 911 guys. I smashed his door. He freaks out and drives away.
Whoa. No, just pull out my phone camera. hey, this is gonna go online.
And he's like, no, you just pay me now. And you're like, I prefer it to be done through the court of law.
What a world we live in that you can pull out a camera and that's a weapon now. Hey, calm down, or this is going online, bitch. You're gonna lose your fucking job. Fuck, Jesus, this is gonna go viral.
Can't believe you didn't lead with that story.
Right? No, because I forgot about it until just now, because I was going through the list that I had made, and that was added recently. But he does that, and then I'm just like, he comes back around, he doesn't say anything. I'm like, see, everything's good. And I turn around, walk to the store, and he gets in his car and everything, and I get in there, and the clerk was like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, I was doing all right until that fucking psycho out there just tried to come at me. And he's just like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that guy's deal is. He's been sitting here for an hour and a half.
Damn.
And then, while I'm showing him my ID for the shit, the adrenaline is so harsh in me that I'm just rattling, shaking. Yeah. And I'm trying to put the card in the slot, just shaking. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm really glad that I don't freak out at people. Because that would be the dumbest fucking thing to escalate it with somebody that unhinged. He could have had a rusty fucking shank or a needle, and I could have either been, gutted or gotten AIDS.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, I can't believe how level-headed I was in that moment.
How old was this guy?
Oh, he looked fucking 50, but he could have easily been 28.
Damn.
Like, that's how fucked up he was.
Damn.
He looked all just like that, sinewy, emaciated kind of look with like the gray skin and the bags under the eyes. Like, totally fucking stereotypical junkie fucking looking idiot.
Do you follow him on Instagram? Can I see?
Yeah, Jack, I'm gonna pull that up right here. No, but he followed me.
He did?
Yeah. So I went from the gas station over to the liquor store.
Oh, he like followed you.
Well, I don't know if he followed me specifically, but I went over to the liquor store because while I was in there, he pulled out and drove away. And then while I was in the liquor store, I go get my shit. I get a 6-pack, and I go walking out to the car. And then his car comes pulling up, because I went from that Shell gas station to the liquor mart, off coal mine. I'm painting the picture for him, not you people.
Right.
But that alleyway in between Subway and that. I'm walking out of the liquor store, and he just up through it. I'm like, what the fuck,
shit.
dude? But that was when I was going into the store. That wasn't after.
Yeah.
And so I was like in the store watching him. He turned out, and I was like behind my car, and then he turned down that first row down by King Soopers, and then he pulled right in front of the light. And I was just like watching him, waiting. I was like, yeah, okay. And I get my shit and pay, and he's still sitting at the light. And I get in my car, and I'm just watching him through the mirror until he goes and he turns left, because it takes a while to get out of there. So he turns left and he went away, and I'm just like, fucking Jesus. Okay, going home, and I'm smashing these beers, crushing them like they've never been crushed before.
Like they've never
been crushed before.
Oh, I love it, man.
So that was my weekend, man.
Damn, that's intense.
Yeah.
Super intense.
But, now we can move on to the subject at hand, the subject of our episode, the main focus. And it's a movie that HBO Now happened to just be so gracious to provide us with. And it's The Predator. Not Predator, The Predator.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was fucking Star Wars, stupid. It's bum did it, bum did it. Here's the crazy thing.
Can I try again? Dun, 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 dun.
You fucking. But so Predator, as we all know, is
they should call him the Hunter.
That's what it was originally called.
I know. That was the joke throughout the movie.
Yeah.
They kept making that. They're like, why did they call it a Predator?
I forgot, dude. I was so frustrated with that movie that my drinking got was faster and faster throughout it. And so, I remember the overall beats, but you're going to have to walk me through because you have the freshest idea. But Predator for me is top 5. It's never going to be displaced from top 5 all time. Mm-hmm. I fucking love that movie. It's one of the best. It's one of the best. And the sequels, not so much.
Stick around.
I can understand Alien 4 being bad. Alien 3 got fucked with by the studio.
Dun, 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 dun.
I liked Prometheus and Alien Covenant, even though they're controversial. But with the Predator series, they just can't make a good sequel to save their fucking life.
No, it's bad.
So, if you're not familiar with the first Predator, Shane Black was in it, the guy who wrote and directed this Predator movie. This
also did Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, unfortunately.
The Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys was
Lethal
great.
Weapon.
Lethal Weapon, yes, and Last Boy Scout, which I was listening to. This is a total tangent, but I was listening to the Rosenthal Jesselnick Vanity Project.
RJVP.
Yes. Not the Jesselnick Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP.
So, like, the one on NFL, and it's for the last episode, and Anthony leads Greg through the entire plot of The Last Boy Scout, which Shane Black made, and it was the most expensive script ever purchased at the time, and it turned out to be such a subpar movie. But he's describing the whole plot. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. But except he was applying it to NFL. He's applying it to NFL players now, because Damon Wayans Senior in that movie is he's a fucking NFL player, and the movie starts with an NFL game, and some guy who's an NFL player is like threatened. Yeah, he's like threatened with something, and he goes out in the game and he gets suited up for the game. He walks out, and I think he does like blow or something, according to Anthony. And then he puts a Glock 45 in the back of his pants and goes out to play football. And then he goes out there and kills or shoots 3 football players and kills 2. And then he says, "Ain't life a bitch," and kills himself. Shane Black wrote that, Jack.
Oh, Shane.
So, he's got some wacky hijinks that are very 80s centric.
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
He was in the first Predator movie. He was, who was his fucking name? I can't remember.
It was fucking,
he was Glasses Boy. Hawkins, he was the guy with the glasses and reading the comic books and making the giant pussy jokes, trying to make Billy laugh. And he came onto the set originally as just the actor. Why are you showing me his face zoomed in? He originally came onto the set cast as the actor, but they knew he was a writer, so they asked him to... God damn, Jack.
Sorry.
They asked him to punch up the script, which he did, and so that's how we got the Predator that we know and love now. So when it was announced that Shane Black was going to be helming, writing, and directing the Predator, I was like, oh, nice, because nobody's more familiar with the Predator than the guy who helped write the draft for the first one and was the first person ever killed on film by the Predator. So I was psyched.
Right.
And, I felt like this is going to be his redemption for the letdown that Iron Man 3 was. It took a long time, a lot of years, finally over it. Love Iron Man 3 now. But initially, the movie was just such a fucking letdown, man.
Oh, yeah.
But so this movie comes out, and immediately, I didn't see it in theaters, which I thought I would, but then immediately all critics and all people on IMDb slam the shit out of it. And usually when it's the people on IMDb rating stuff, the rating starts high, and then it grows lower. Like Avengers Endgame was number 5 all-time movie of all, on the top 250, and then slid down, and it's like 15 now. But that's just what happens when a movie's released. It's overhyped by the mega fans who saw it first, then it slides down. Not the Predator. That shit started out at like 6.2 and slid to like that 5.4 or whatever it is now. And the critics, it was like a 14 on Metacritic or some shit. It was really bad. And I'm just like, okay, well, that sucks. So I'm not going to give them my money. And then I rented it on Redbox, man. And so I watched it. And like I said earlier, I was drinking while watching it, and the more frustrated I got, the more I drank. And so it got hazier towards the end, except I remember I remember the end pretty crystal clear, because it was like a sobering thing how fucking awful it looked. The special effects were so bad that I was just like, am I just drunk? Or
yeah.
And I'm like, no. And I put my glasses on and everything to make it clearer with my blurry vision. I'm like, no, this is fucking terrible. So I was really disappointed with this movie. But here's the catch, man. I was so broke at the time, because this was winter. I was so broke at the time that I couldn't afford to return it to Redbox because I let it go 2 days late. And I didn't have $6 in my account. So it would have overdrafted. So I just held on to it. And I held on to it for like a really long time until I got paid. And I returned it fucking $37.
You could have bought it.
I could have bought it like almost twice. So I ended up giving it so much money, 3 movie tickets, almost 4 movie tickets worth, to that fucking shithouse movie, man.
I'd say you told me the other day that this is your favorite movie.
No, I didn't. Don't you dare lie to the good people. The good saints that are listening. Oh my God. It was so stupid.
That's what I love.
And I think I may have watched it twice, but still, it's like that frustrated me so much that I repressed a lot. I'm like really trying to remember stuff. Oh, that was the other thing. So Alan Silvestri did the score for the original Predator.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Predator 2. And look how far he's come, making the Avengers.
Yeah,
man.
he's killing
he's such a killer composer, man.
He is.
He's done so much too. Like I looked into it further and I was like, damn, he's done a lot of fucking movies. He's like on the level of John Williams and Hans Zimmer, you know.
Yeah, nobody knows about him, but he is. Yeah.
Alan Silvestri. You know, we wouldn't have without him. You know, the most iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
What'd you think of the Predator dog that just ended up being a good guy?
Well, that's the thing I get. They shot it. I didn't get is that they shot it in the brain and apparently like canceled out all of its like ferocity and turned it into like a puppy dog, like an actual dog.
Without explaining that at all.
No, like he went up and shot it in the fucking head like a cold hard killer, and then it just like gets drunk, basically. What the hell? But let's start from the beginning of this movie, man.
Yeah.
So it starts off with Boyd Holbrook, right? You know, which we know so lovingly from the Wolverine, or just not the Wolverine. Fucking A, fuck that up. But Logan. I mix that up because the first thing is like, I'm a huge fan of the Wolverine. Or whatever he says, Wolverine. He does that crazy Southern accent in that movie. But I guess he also is like the main character of Narcos.
Really?
Yeah, because my girlfriend showed me the first couple episodes of it. Not a bad show. It's just there's a lot of Spanish to read, man.
What do you think of Boyd as a main character?
Not a main character guy.
No.
It's just about as miscast as Adrian Brody in Predators, dude. Because that was like sickening. Adrian Brody being the like. You think about the caliber of actors in that movie. Mahershala Ali, with his acting talent and range,
should have been the main character.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
He would have been a much better protagonist. I would have gotten behind it. I would have felt the authority. But then you got Adrian Beakey over there with the AA-12 being like, that's his dialogue the whole movie. He's got like an underbite. He's like,
how do you feel that he sends the kid all the Predator
stuff? I thought, okay, so when that first scene started with the Predator, he sliced that guy in half, and all the blood drenched on him. I'm like, okay, maybe these people were not fucking around. That was cool. It was cool. And then his eyes flash and all that. That was cool. And then they knock him out, and he takes the mask and all that stuff. And then mails it to his son, who's played by Jacob Tremblay, which, I mean, that kid is...
Sam hates him.
I didn't say I hated him, Jack. I'm saying he's a sociopath.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Oh, no, because there's no behind the scenes on HBO now. Mm-hmm. I watched the behind the scenes with him, and he said that he went and hung out with actual autistic kids to study their characters. I'm like, dude, you're 10.
I know.
And you're breaking down character flaws and things and like behaviorisms and learning how to mimic that. He's gonna be a fucking killer.
Yeah, he already portrays one pretty well.
Yeah,
he's
a fucking psycho, man.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that.
Psycho in the making. It's just like, but like you can understand how child actors go insane now.
Yeah,
and it's just because he was talking like an adult actor right then.
Yeah,
when I was just like, dude, he's analyzing people. And I mean, like, actors already are pretty much sociopaths. I mean...
Do you think Shane Black has a thing for kids?
Yes, Jack, I do. Because there's a kid in, like, every fucking one of his movies.
Yeah, it's weird.
He has that Harley kid in Iron Man 3. He has the little girl in The Nice Guys. But also he cast Ty Simpkins in The Nice Guys. So he's worked with the same kid twice. Yeah. And then we got Jacob Tremblay, the big kid, these big kid stars. Because even fucking daughter in The Nice Guys ended up being in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, really? Who is she?
Yeah, she was on the news.
Oh, yeah.
Betty Brant. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm just like, what is it with him and kids? And then they made him autistic. I'm like, oh. Because that's like, when you're going to see a Predator movie, you don't want character flaws like that. You want... I mean...
Are you saying you didn't want Arnold Schwarzenegger to have AIDS in the first Predator? Is that what you're telling me?
I didn't remember them getting his prognosis back during that film. Did they tell him that news on the helicopter at the end when he was blind?
Yeah, it was one of Hawkins's jokes.
Like, I went to my girlfriend, like, geez, you got Dutch's dick in you. Geez, you got Dutch's dick in you. And she goes, huh? I didn't hear you. He's like, you have AIDS.
What?
Because that's how shitty the jokes that he said were. God damn. And anyway, so he escapes that initial fight, and then the army finds him, and he swallows the invisible thingy, and he mails the helmet and the wrist thing to his kid, who just doesn't see the world the same way as other people do. That's how they live within their brains. They see autistic people see it from a totally different way, which, I mean, is kind of creative, but also, why does it have to be a fucking kid, dude? Yeah. So he goes and he fucks with the shit and sends the Predator's ship crashing down to Earth, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah, and then they
Boyd gets captured, and they interrogate him and stuff. And then they let him out to show him the Predator.
They got Olivia Munn there.
No, so yeah, okay, that's what it was. He was going to be sent away with all the crazies, right? They interrogate him, and he says a lot of really sophomore stupid, like, hard guy shit. They just case him up and throw him in the fucking bus. But meanwhile, we're introduced to Olivia Buns, and she like what was her intro? She was asked to come there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
By Sterling, right? Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I forget what she's up to when they
great cast in this movie.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
terribly used.
Yeah, just awful.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm
K.
starting to remember a lot more now.
Let's hear it. Let's hear all of it.
No, but let's keep going through the plot. They take her down to the base. And they see that they got the Predator on the table and stuff, and then they got the blonde guy, and that is Gary Busey's son, literally,
really?
And Gary Busey's character's son from Predator 2.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I thought he was going to be like the big government guy, like his dad, who was going to be out to get the Predator and shit, you know?
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
Doesn't he die?
Yeah, he gets sliced in half by that disc.
Like, immediately.
Yeah. Honestly, you go back and watch Predator 2, having seen this and Predators, you're like, this movie's kind of solid. It's got some cool shit going for it.
Yeah.
So they do that, right? And then how did the Predator escape?
Something woke it up. I can't remember what. Oh, shit. I think the kid presses a button.
He activated the thing, which crashed the ship, which, it could have activated something in the Predator to just be like, whoa, it's awake time.
Yeah.
And he fucking
just gets out so easily.
Out, and that part was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He fucked a lot of people up. That part was pretty well coordinated and badass.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the whole thing with Olivia Munn getting away. She's just cowering, and he's just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
He made sure to kill everybody.
I was upset we didn't get to see her naked, you know?
I know, because they had her primed. She was trying to detoxify or whatever to get out. And no. Mm-hmm. We only got side bun from Olivia Buns.
Yeah.
And then they go up through the fucking... Yeah, the Predator goes up through the elevator. Meanwhile, the loony guys on the fucking bus, you got Tourette's Thomas Jane... Keegan-Michael Key with no filter. Fucking Theon Greyjoy with a very Cockney accent. The Latino guy. Mm-hmm. And then who else?
Trevante Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get on there, and he finds out that he's been classified as crazy, and he's put on this crazy bus, and they're gonna go kill all these crazy people because they're too crazy to handle.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ooh, gang of misfits. We got a band of misfits going for us here in this movie. I'm like, Shane, dude. The thing that made the Predator so fucking compelling was that he was like Jason Voorhees for the strongest men on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you making us deal with kooky characters and wild antics? That is so not Predator, bro.
Oh my god! Did you like how they like at the very end we're just like, oh yeah, Keegan-Michael Key and fucking Thomas Jane have this relationship.
Yeah, it's not gay necessarily, but they had to go into it where it's like only they know each other. They're only best friends. They
had no interaction before.
They were really mean to each other the whole movie. They were dicks to each other the whole fucking time.
And like we just didn't need that.
No, we didn't. We didn't need these characters to have a rich and fulfilled background. That's the thing, actually, that was pretty cool about both the first Predator and the first Alien. They didn't really have a background. They just were the characters, and you didn't need the background. They were just in this fucking crazy situation where they're being hunted down by an alien, you know? And it makes it fucking terrifying, except Predator was more action-oriented.
Right.
So Shane just missed the mark so much with this one.
What'd you think of the Super Predator?
Dude. So what, they go and fucking, the kid gets bullied. Jesus, the kid gets bullied a lot.
Oh, yeah, and he kills someone.
Yeah, well, he wears the Predator mask out for Halloween, and he gets bullied, and then all of a sudden the mask has a cannon inside of it.
Yes.
And it fucking shoots that house and blows it up and scares the bullies off. And I'm just like, what is it with Shane Black making these kids have bullies and use the major technology as a deterrent? I mean, like, Harley didn't get to use that light thing against his bullies, but he used it against the fucking extremist guy in Iron Man 3. But it's like, God, dude. It's just frustrating because it's
you
like,
not like Shane Black.
No,
movies.
I love what he does. I texted you this. That I love what he does when it's him by himself because he's such an outside the box thinker. But when he's given an IP, a franchise, and he starts thinking outside the box and thinking of like, oh, wouldn't it be wild if we did this? It's like, yes, it would. Please do not fucking do that. Don't change what's already been done, man. Don't just change it up completely.
Wouldn't it be wild?
Wouldn't it be wild? It's like, yeah, fucking wild. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Then, like, let's think. So then the kid, boom. Then they find
him. Yeah, the bus pulls up and sees that.
Yeah,
and then they find him. They get the technology. Fucking Boyd Holbrook shits out the fucking invisible thing. And then they go to that. They're at the high school. Why are they at the high school? Or just the school? They were in that school.
Yeah. I don't. Just because I think they were just in the town, and that was where the chase ended up.
Yeah, because were they chasing the original Predator first? Was that it? Because no, the Predator's trying to find the mask and the gauntlet. That's the thing,
right?
And so they're trying to take it, and they get chased into the school, and which it was kind of cool, the fight that Boyd was trying to put up, and he was getting choked, and like the Predator was like gonna kill him and stuff.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the fucking hand didn't punch through the window or the wall.
I think the wall.
Yeah, punched through the wall, grabbed the Predator, and it's like giant, big enough to wrap around his fucking head, and threw him out the fucking window. And it's this super Predator. It doesn't even need a fucking mask. It's totally naked because its body is armor. And I mean, the logic that they put into the movie was kind of cool about how the Predators are hunting to learn. Like if any of them die, they gather that data and they learn how to adapt and make themselves better to become the ultimate Predator. Cool concept, but also very poorly executed.
Yeah.
And apparently this regular Predator, basic ass bitch that we know and love, is a traitor or something, and he fucking like crushes his skull, kills that Predator. So now we're dealing with this giant Predator who has like two or three. Was it 3 dogs? These like
2
Predator pit bull looking things.
Yeah,
and they chase them out of the fucking goddamn baseball diamond. And the ways that they killed them were so fucking stupid.
I know. They all ended up dying so lame.
Yeah, like they the one bit down on the grenade launcher and he just pumped it full of grenades.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blew up. Like, it got sick, fell over, and blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened to the other one?
I think the friendly one, I think they just left it in like a container.
Well,
and, like, had it...
no, there were 3, right? Or was it just 2?
I thought there were just 2.
Oh, then, yeah, they went up and, like I said, shot that other one, and then it just got, like, drunk.
Yeah.
And friendly. It just became a literal dog. Like, what the... Don't make jokes in a Predator movie, man! And then they get found by Sterling K. Brown. They get locked up and shit. And then, like, he's going to kill both Boyd and Olivia Munn and the rest of them. Mm-hmm. Has any of the team died yet? No. Not a member's died to this point in this Predator movie. Everybody's still okay. Yeah. These Predators are just such not a threat. It's not very suspenseful when people aren't getting picked off. Yeah. But also, it's with the government organization, so it's bigger than just, like, a gang of guys. Yeah. No, it's just... You know, like... Sterling K. Brown has a real bad nicotine habit. Yeah, he smokes a lot. Yeah. He's always chewing. Always chewing. Oh, he's chewing? Oh, yeah. Never mind. But, hey, how's it going? Yeah, he's such a douche in that movie, man. And then, they try to just break out. Yeah, they end up teaming up with Sterling K. Brown because he needs the kid. Oh yeah, because the kid can understand the language, which is fucking stupid. Yeah, God, I know. He's like, yeah, I look at these symbols and I see math that I can make sense of, and it's like, yeah, okay, I understand that, but didn't Olivia Munn say at one point that autism is a sign of human evolution? I think so, yeah. Yeah. I can't remember exactly when, but they end up teaming up with them. And this is when people start dying. Yeah, when they're at the Predator ship. Yeah. And they're trying to get the kid to figure out how to access the computer or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the Super Predator shows up, rips out Theon Greyjoy's spine, which I'm like, finally something Predator-like in this fucking movie. Right. And then... Sterling K. Brown shoots himself in the head with the he shoots. That's what I remembered earlier. It's just like Sterling K. Brown dies in the stupidest fucking way. He's like, blasts himself in the back of the fucking head. Yeah. And then, like, they're fighting that Super Predator. Like, how'd you feel about that part where the Predator hacked into the computer and started speaking English to the people? He's like, I'll give you 5 minutes or whatever head start. It's like, I always thought that was just terrible. What'd you think about how the Predator didn't need a mask because he could literally change between which visions in his own, like, eyes? Again, just cool concept. Very poorly executed. Yeah. Everything was so poorly executed. And then, that all happens. Like, Sterling K. Brown's dead, and then Keegan-Michael Key and Thomas Jane die because they get stabbed, and then Thomas Jane gets pinned to the tree. Yep. But the whole time, they have this relationship that was hidden until recently, and then they die staring at each other's eyes. They shoot each other, yeah. They shoot each other. They're fucking stupid. And then we get to the climax. What was the climax about? They're like they like get on the ship, and like Trevante Rhodes and Boyd are on the ship. But what's the plan? I don't even remember. This movie sucked so bad, dude. I saw this a day ago, and I can't remember any of it. It sucked so bad. Trevante Rhodes just jumps into the propeller of the ship. Like, he just does that. Just to, like, blow it up? Right. Yeah, but he's so, like... What do you think about the Latino guy? He's standing on top of the ship. It's mid-flight. And, oh, no, the Predator wanted the kid. Remember? Yes. Yeah, he wanted the kid because the kid's the next step in evolution, and he wanted to study autism. He wanted to become autistic. The Predator wanted to become autistic, Jack. Shane Black's got a message here, Sam, and that is autism is the future. Autism. The future isn't feminine. The future is autistic. But, he wanted the kid, and so they got to go save the kid. And so, Boyd makes it onto the ship. And, oh, no. They're on the ship. The Predator takes off, and that's what I'm talking about. The Latino guy's standing there, and then the shield of the ship just turns on and slices his legs off. He just goes flying into the jet stream. That's it. Bye. And fucking Boyd Holbrook laid down right under the shield.
Yeah.
And somehow managed to hang on while Trevante Rhodes jumped down the engine and blew up the ship and it crashed.
And then they fought it.
And Olivia Munn was still there.
Yeah.
Wasn't she on the ship too?
No. I think she was still I think she was in the woods.
They fought the Predator and they killed it, but all the special effects in that whole third act were so fucking terrible, dude. Yeah. The worst I've seen from any movie this decade. Like,
it looks like they made it in a weekend.
Yeah, nothing was fully rendered. All of it looked so terrible, and I'll tell you why. I looked at the trivia.
Yeah,
it's because Shane Black had a totally different third act, and Fox shut it down and made him reshoot it, rewrite and reshoot it. And I don't know what the setup would have been. But it would have led up to a giant battle.
A giant battle?
Just like a Wakanda-style battle.
Damn.
With humans teamed up with the regular Predators versus the super Predators. And it's like, there's only been 2 Predators in this movie. How are you going to make that leap?
With the humans and the
And apparently, Fox fucked with this movie so much.
Yeah.
And apparently they just hate, like, the test screens and everything went fucking horrible. I made him go back, cut it all out, rewrite the whole movie, reshoot it. Or everything, that whole, latter half of the second act all the way to the end. And then...
They hated it.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it any better.
No, they didn't make it any better. They made it, honestly, way worse. I mean, the ending, story-wise, not that bad.
It's just fine. Like that's what it is.
Just the special effects alone fucked the whole thing off its ass. It was so goddamn shitty, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was so fucking offended.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like Shane Black Me Too'd me.
Sam, would you spit in his face right now?
Movie. Oh, I'd just be like, what were you thinking? What happened, man? I'm not even going to get mad about the Mandarin. I've come to peace with that. What the fuck happened with Predator, man? What in the actual fuck?
I think you should spit on him.
Well, I might spit on him from just saying fuck so hard. So, I mean, that could get 2 birds done with 1 stone.
Do you think he's proud of this movie?
God, I hope not.
Do you think he has like a big frame poster for this movie over his mantle?
God, I hope not.
It's possible.
Jack, to be honest, I'm really upset with the cast. Because they knew what they did.
Yeah.
And Keegan-Michael Key was on like Conan or something talking about the Predator. And he goes into all the comics and the history with like Aliens versus Predator and stuff like that. He goes into real deep cuts. And I'm like, oh, cool. Because I saw that before the movie. I'm like, if they had Keegan, the resident, Predator comics fan, he's got to be okay with the final product. You can't like piss off a fan who's making the movie. Evidently, he sold his soul. He sold out. He sold us a big bag of lies. Jack. And
what if he was just reading off a teleprompter that whole time about all the comics, just lying to you?
Well, that'd be just as big of a lie as him fucking saying that we should go see this fucking movie, man. And it was such a betrayal. I feel molested by the movie. The Predator Me Too'd me, man. I've been preyed upon by the Predator.
Sam, I'm going to need you to give us a 1-sentence review of this movie.
Oh, how about a log line?
Sure, give me a log line.
So the original one was like, you won't see him coming. This one says, you won't see it coming, how fucking shitty this goddamn fucking movie is. And it runs across the entire poster under the Predator. Yeah, right there.
Do you, Sam, would you recommend this movie to people?
No.
No?
No.
Not even just for a fun...
I recommended it to you because it was on HBO, and I'm like, this would be a great thing for us to talk about on the podcast because I was so infuriated by it. And I spent $37 on the movie overall.
Might as well get something.
Might as well get something out of it. If just by doing this episode leads to more episodes and more attention and more of an audience and eventually money, if I get $37 from a sponsor ever, it would be worth it.
How many stars out of 5?
1.
Oh.
Actually, no, 1.5, because it did have a couple cool things. What did you think about that ending with the suit? The Predator Hunter suit? What'd you think about his kid being like, I work at the CIA now and shit?
I wanted to die.
Guess what? The studio filmed that without Shane Black. That wasn't him.
Really?
That part was not him.
Oh. Yeah, that's the worst part of the movie for sure.
That was vomit-inducing.
Yeah. Fox, there's a reason Disney bought you. You failed.
Dude, that's the thing, is Fox has done that with, like, this movie and Fantastic Four. And I'm sure it's because of test screenings and focus groups. And nothing will kill a movie faster than those two things. It'll kill a movie before it even comes out.
Yeah. No.
And you come up with shit like this, like Fantastic Four. You remember? Did you watch that?
No, I never ended up seeing it.
Oh, we watched it at the house when we lived together.
I wasn't there.
And oh my god, it was an hour and a half. It was so fucking poorly edited. Nothing made sense. All the dialogue and acting was totally, miscut around, and all the special effects weren't finished. It was like this one. They weren't finished. Dr. Doom looked like crazy. Look him up on YouTube. Dude, you gotta see how bad Dr. Doom is and how bad The Thing is.
The Thing?
The Thing looks so bad. Terrible. And they forced its clobbering time into him punching Dr. Doom into this, like, portal thing. Like, the whole thing, there wasn't any build-up. It was just, they were formed, and then they,
it looks awful.
Yes, right?
What a shame.
Yeah, and it's because Fox fucked with it, and they wonder why Disney owns them now. It's because doing shit like that. Like, I honestly don't know if that trivia thing that I read about the whole battle ending of this movie is true, but they made him change the ending, for sure. Because the whole, like, up till that third act, the special effects are pretty good.
Oh, he looks so bad.
Yeah, isn't he horrible?
Yeah.
But it's just, nothing will kill a movie worse than fucking focus groups and test screenings. Let the artist be an artist. And if they fail, they fail.
Yeah.
And that's on them. Once they change it, that's on the fucking studio. Yeah. You can't blame Shane Black and Josh Trank for the third acts of their movies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because it's the studio. Then Josh Trank got fired from the editing of Fantastic Four. I don't know if Shane Black got fired from this movie or anything like this, but all the dumb Shane Blackisms leading up to it, like all the jokes they made in this movie, there were so many jokes.
Yeah.
I fucking hated it.
Yeah, it didn't feel like an action movie at all. It just felt like a movie that had some action parts in it.
Yeah, it was so bad. Way to kill the fucking franchise. And now Disney owns Fox. I don't even know if they're going to make a fucking follow-up to Alien Covenant, which would be very upsetting because I need it so I can save both franchises with my Alien versus Predator movie that I'm writing. God. Not soon enough. God, these fucking franchises need a hero.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I aim to be that hero.
Yeah, on the board.
What, be the hero of your own story?
Yeah, Sammy B.
Yeah. Well, we're sitting at an hour and 12.
Hour 12?
Yeah. I have another movie I'd like to talk to you about if you don't mind going longer.
Yeah, what's up?
Tell me something, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
What?
I finally saw A Star is Born this past weekend, and you totally undersold how brutal that ending was.
Oh, well, what am I supposed to tell you?
Well, you said, that ending actually got me pretty choked up. I'm like, it must be really touching.
No, dude, I don't cry at happy things.
No. And I watched the whole movie, got so invested, cried so many times, like it was an episode of This Is Us.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Every episode of This Is Us is a fucking emotional drain. That's why I stopped watching it. It's a fantastic show. I just was sick of crying for every hour of that show that I watched.
What did you think when you saw Bradley Booper's boots dangling in the garage?
I was so pissed. Jack, I was so pissed.
There was something.
Because I bought in, and it was really like, oh, this is true love. And I mean, like, his drinking's a problem, and then he goes to rehab, and he gets out of rehab, and it's like, yeah, things are good, and things are back. And then, I thought it was going to be kind of like a La La Land ending when that manager was being a total cock to him. The manager was the entire reason he killed himself. And the realization he had was he for her sake, he has to leave her, but he can't live without her, so he fucking kills himself. Oh my God, I was livid. And you own this movie, man.
I do.
I was crying so much in this movie at so many different points, and then that I couldn't hold it together, and I was like angry crying. Come on, man. And then she punches his fucking poster and breaks it and stuff. And then the part when he's with Sam Elliott and he's like, it was you I idolized, not Dad. And then the look, his choked upness, and they close the door, and then Sam Elliott can't get out of the car to hug him, so he's like backing up, and he's got the tears in his eyes. I'm like, fuck you for making me feel this way. I said that when I watched it. I'm like, fuck you for making me feel this way. And then it got to that part, and I'm like, I'm really mad because I did not want to be devastated this weekend. I didn't feel like being devastated when I popped that movie in. I thought it was just going to be like a kind of ending, like La La Land. No, not at all. Not at all.
No, not even close.
Fucking pissed me off. But Bradley, it was a fantastic movie.
What did you think of Lady Gaga?
Huh?
What did you think of Lady Gaga?
I love Lady Gaga. You know I love Lady Gaga. You know how good my rendition of Bad Romance is at karaoke.
That's fair.
It is jaw-dropping. But I just was very emotionally destroyed by that movie, man.
What did you think when he peed his pants?
That was kind of funny.
That was hilarious.
And then he passed out, and I was like, maybe he's gonna die from alcohol poisoning right here.
He had a problem.
You'll think? I mean, that's what started the whole movie.
Yeah,
was him just being like, I don't know, this place looks like a bar, and then the guy, he walks up to the guy, he's like, I don't think this is your kind of place. He's like, does it have alcohol? Then it is my kind of place. It's that drag place.
Yep.
I mean, I don't really care to go much more into detail than just how upset I got.
I'll watch it again this week. This will be our movie next week because I'll get into it. Yeah. I just haven't seen it since October.
Yeah, and it just bummed me out.
You gotta watch it again.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of like a reverse of what you did. Oh, no, it was exactly what you did when you went on the plane to Spain. And you watched La La Land first, and then you watched Moonlight, and then Manchester by the Sea.
It's devastating.
The most cheerful one still had a sad ending. Yeah. But those two bummer movies after that.
Yeah, and this Manchester by the Sea is... At least Moonlight ends kind of happy.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, it is... Oh, you must, though. You must watch it. You can't call yourself a film fan and be afraid to watch a movie.
Hey, I don't support it because Casey Affleck starred in it, and he's been Me Too'd. So...
Yeah.
Actually, I don't really give a fuck about that. You know what? The thing I don't like about Casey Affleck is how squeaky his voice is.
Does it surprise you that Casey Affleck got Me Too'd?
No.
No.
I'm not surprised for like really anybody who's an actor.
Yeah.
Who's got like any kind of fame behind them, like power or anything. And anybody of that level, I'm just like, I mean, I can see it.
Do you think?
But it also is a bummer.
Yeah.
You know what? I was talking to my mom about it. It was because Baby Driver. I've only watched it one time after we saw it in theaters. Was when I first bought it, and then Kevin Spacey thing came out, and I tried watching it again. I was just like, your face is too gross. I can't. It's such a good movie.
It is. It's great. It's one of my favorites.
I think I might have just gotten over it at some point, but it's like. When that first came out, I was like, "Yo, this movie gives me the heebie-jeebies."
Because of Kevin Spacey.
Kev Space.
What's your favorite Kevin Spacey movie?
Your Mom.
I didn't know he was in that.
I don't know. That's actually a good question. Probably Glenn Ross. Because he spends the whole movie getting shit on by everybody, even though he's the boss, and then he ends up being the winner. Why'd you just pull up a picture of Kevin Spacey? Have you seen The Usual Suspects?
That's what I do. No, I've actually never seen it.
Do you know?
I know the
twist that he's Kaiser Soze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really kind of bummed because that movie is really good. It's just because it's so old, everybody knows Kevin Spacey's Kaiser Soze. So when that reveal happens, because he spends the whole movie like, kind of tweaky, and his foot's crooked and stuff, so he's limping. And then at the end, he leaves, and then you see him walking, and then his foot straightens out, and he stands up straight, and it's just like, yeah, it's Kaiser Soze. It's cool, but it's kind of like The Godfather. You knew everything that happened going into that movie. It makes it less special.
Yeah.
But also, that's probably how Endgame is now that everybody knows all the spoilers. So
yeah, I know. So I caught someone yesterday read a spoiler and was all upset. And I'm like, dude, it's been almost a month. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't get to get mad. You don't get to be upset about this anymore.
That's on you, man.
You should have seen.
Pick 3 hours of any day.
Just go.
Just go. So you don't have to be like, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me, oh, don't tell me, oh, don't tell me, don't tell me. Like, if you don't watch Game of Thrones by Monday, you're fucking out, man.
You lose. You
lose. You're the biggest loser.
You didn't play the game right.
Oh, God. But anyway, that was The Predator, and I think this is the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
The Don't Miss This podcast.
DMT
with Sammy B and Jacky D.
Hey.
You can find me on It's Butler Time at Instagram.com and Twitter.com. I don't know why I said all of that. I should have said
on
Twitter and Instagram at.
Find Sam at http://www.twitter.com.
This bit's over. I'm trying to wrap up a show here, man.
/It's Butler Time.
Yeah. But anyway, Jack, you're at Jacky D62.
Jacky D62. About to get back on the social media train.
There's so much stuff that I've been wanting to send you on Instagram that I can't, because I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, he's going to love this. But when you get back, and if I send you all the stuff that I see or have seen, you're going to come back and it's going to be like, fucking updates. It's like, yeah, you have 368 new messages. But also, you can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify in a couple weeks when we're approved, and iTunes. Working on Stitcher. Fuck SoundCloud.
Whoa.
I got beef with SoundCloud, bud.
Uh-oh, why?
Because, they charge you.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
And I'm already paying for Spreaker to host this thing. And SoundCloud, I thought just, you would have a certain amount of hours. And so I went and I deleted all Welcome to Tuesday, thinking I'd get those hours back. And they're like, no, you've used all your hours. You got to pay us. You're fucking out, Cholo. And I'm like, no. Fuck you, SoundCloud. You and your fake rappers. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, the newest underground artists. That's where they all are.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what they tell themselves.
My old Droog.
Your old Droog. Fucking idiot.
Love y'all.
Yeah, have a good week. I guess that's it.
I was loving that. Oh.